Hello and welcome to the Time Is Always Now podcast. My name is Terence Young and I am the host and the creator of this podcast. This podcast is dedicated to helping people move past their excuses, move past those reasons of saying, I don't have enough time to do this or do that, or whatever the case may be. The truth is this, I know tons of people, and I'm sure you do as well, that are waiting on the right time. They're waiting on the right time to move forward in their lives. They're waiting on the right time to make a change. They're waiting on the right time to do something that's going to improve their lives for the better. They're waiting on someday or one day. But the truth is, someday and one day don't exist. The only time we have is right now. So I have dedicated my life, my teachings, everything to help and encourage and inspire people to be able to move forward and harness the power in that eternal moment of now. And that is what this podcast is all about. So you're going to hear from myself. I'm going to have guests on that will be talking about ways that they have utilized that understanding of the time is always now to improve their lives in whatever industry they're in, be education or sports or science or they could be a public speaker or an author, whatever the case may be. Anyone that has utilized this, and we all have, by the way, in some way or another, to help improve their lives, I want to be able to share those stories, those ideas, so that you all can harness that power as well in the eternal moment of now, so you can move forward and get out there and start doing what you were meant to do, what God put you on this earth to do. That's what it's all about. And the funny thing about it is this podcast, it came out of me not following my own advice. So for the last 4 years, I've had several people come up to me and they know that I speak and they know that I do workshops and I have a CD and I go out all the time, and they would ask me, hey, do you have a podcast? And I would say, no, I don't. But you know what? I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one someday. Yeah. But I never did. And a year would pass and another year would. Someone else would come up to me and say, you know what? You should have a podcast. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to do that one of these days. I'm going to do that. But I never did. So 2 or 3 years of hearing people say that, finally I decided, you know what? Maybe I should take my own advice and create this podcast, because you know what? It's going to help people. It's going to encourage people. It's going to inspire people in a bigger way than I'm already doing. And that's what it's all about. So I am so honored and so happy to be able to finally do this. It's my first episode of my podcast. If you want to help and donate to the cause, I would love for you to do that. You can go to my website. My website is terenceyoungnow.com, and you can donate to help me continue to give these messages and spread them throughout the world. My goal and my passion is I want to speak to as many people as I possibly can, not only in the United States, all over the world. I want to take this teaching, this understanding, this power that we possess within us that most of us don't know we have. I want to take that and spread it throughout the entire world. I want to touch the masses and let everybody know, hey, stop waiting. Stop waiting on the right time. It's right now. It's right now. Move forward right now. That's how you do it. So I'm looking forward to continuing these episodes and sharing my insights, sharing my guests' insights as well with you, the lessons that we've learned, and how we can empower people to change their lives for the better. On today's episode, I want to concentrate on this concept, this idea, which is very simple. Focus. Focus. How does focus or focusing tie into the time is always now? Very important. Very important to understand. So focus. I always say this about the word focus. It means this. Follow one course until successful. F.O.C.U.S. Follow one course until successful. How many people do you know can do that? How many people do you know can really follow one course until successful? It's tough. It's very, very tough to do. Right? You'll get into something. Here's what most people do. They get into some idea, new business or whatever. They start doing it for 2 or 3 months. They don't see any results. They quit. People start a workout plan. Oh, this is great. Beginning of the year. People start a workout plan. They get in. They do for 1 month. The month of January, they don't see the results. What do? They quit. They are not following one course until successful. You have to continue to move forward and grind it out every single day. The results are going to come, but you have to stay focused. You have to stay disciplined, which is a part of staying focused, over and over again in order to reach your goal, whatever that may be. One of the people that exemplify this to a great deal is someone who's been in the news a lot lately. And many of you may know that you heard about the helicopter crash with Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 other people who died in that helicopter crash. Well, Kobe Bryant is obviously a famous basketball player, so everybody knows, or a lot of people know who he is. And many people have been talking about how focused he was, how driven he was on the basketball court. And really not even just on the basketball court, even in his second career, as he had moved forward with his telling stories and things like that, in his second career after basketball, he was just as focused, just as passionate about that. I want to share a quote that Kobe said one time. He said this: "I focus on one thing and one thing only. That's trying to win as many championships as I can." I focus on one thing and one thing only. Trying to win as many championships as I can. I remember when they asked him that. He was like a teenager. This guy came into the league at like 17 or 18 years old. And I remember him saying, they said, "Kobe, what's the goal?" He said, "Win as many championships as I can." Talk about being focused, right? We all talk about what he says, the Mamba mentality, which is always grinding out and working as hard as you can to be the best that you can at your given field, your gift, whatever it is, right? We have God-given gifts. We have God-given talents. But it's not enough just to have it. You have to go and cultivate it and work it, whatever it is, right? And he was determined to be the best basketball player he could be. He was focused. So my question to you is, how focused are you on whatever it is that you do? Right? I'm a speaker, and I am very, very passionate about speaking. And so I am focused all the time on being the best speaker that I possibly can be. I work hard at it day in and day out. I work harder on speaking than I do at my job because I know that God put me on this earth to be a speaker. And that's what I'm here to do. So I have to cultivate that gift that's already been given to me. My question to you, what's the gift? Have you found out what that gift is? And if you know what that gift is, and believe me, if you found it, you know it, because there's a feeling, a vibration that goes along with it that is undeniable. But if you found it, are you working at it? Are you working in it? Do you have that Mamba mentality? Are you working that hard to be the best that you can be? The best doctor, the best teacher, the best lawyer, the best mother, the best father, the best coach, whatever it may be? That's what focus is all about. Kobe Bryant, he exemplified that. It really did. It's great. Really, really great. And I know a lot of people talk about, we saw the story with Gail King asking the questions about the rape allegations and things like that. I don't know if it was fair to talk about it right then, but it happened, right? It happened. I'll say this, and it's actually a nice segue kind of change into what we're talking about here is, it's interesting that when you have someone that you quote unquote know, and that's funny because a lot of people will say, well, you guys don't even know Kobe. Why are you sad? Why are you upset? Whatever the case may be. But we do know Kobe, right? Kobe's been on our TV sets for 20 years, right? Even if you don't watch basketball, you've seen him on your TV set because somebody you know is watching basketball. So, of course, we kind of feel like we know him in that sense because those memories of watching him play basketball are attached to our brain. They're memories. I can remember watching Kobe play basketball when he had the afro and he was 17 years old and he was shooting from the key and he shot an air ball. I remember that. Literally, I was watching it. He was like 18. And I saw him on his last game in a Laker uniform when he scored 60 points. So, yeah, we do, quote unquote, know him. So people ask about what happened with the rape allegations and stuff, and it's fair to ask it. I get that. But I'll ask this question, which I think is a very interesting question. What do you do when you have someone that you know or you're close to, and then you find out they've done something really bad? What do you do? That's a question. Do you change the way you feel about them from before that happened? Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. I can tell you that I've dealt with this on a personal level. Right? I had a person that I worked with on a weekly basis. We worked together all the time. Known this guy for 7 or 8 years, and then something came up where we found out that something happened in his past. So he had done something in his past that we're talking, and when I say past, I mean like 30, 40 years ago. But it was something really bad where he got arrested, had to do time or something like that. So how do you change the way you feel about somebody when that happens? Or do you? And I remember thinking, wow, so I know this guy, he knows my kids, everything. I'm like, am I supposed to feel different about him now? You know, being in unity and being a speaker and everything. I said, I can't feel different about him because I know who he is. I know who he is now. And what he did in the past was in the past, so he's a different person now. Right? He's a different person now. So I was able to accept that and move forward. But I remember specifically having a conversation with my mom about it. And she said the same thing. She's like, yeah, you got to be able to forgive. You got to be able to move on. So even if someone did something bad in the past, if they've made the effort and they've done the work to change, well, then who are we to judge them? We should be able to move forward and be able to accept them for who they are now. Because Lord knows none of us are perfect. We've all made mistakes. We've all done some wrongs. So we just got to be able to accept people and move forward. And I love the fact that because I'm in unity, that's a strong, powerful teaching that we teach all the time. And I utilize that in this situation. So when you think about Kobe, I think the same thing. I mean, I think at this point we need to let those things go and be able to move forward with his life and his legacy. It's a part of it, and that's okay to talk about it. But for now, let it go. I think I'll put that in the show notes when I post this to my blog. I'll put it in there, and I'll leave the question out. What do you do? What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about when someone does something really, really wrong in the past, and then you find out about it? What do you do? How do you feel? Do you change your relationship with them? I'd be interested to see what you guys think as well. Very interesting. So when we talk about focus, there's a great book that I read called The Other 8 Hours, and I want to share this with you. I talk about this in my book because it's so powerful. If you want to be someone that focuses, well, you've got to be able to focus and manage yourself. And I teach about this in my book. I say there's no such thing as time management, right? Everybody has these big things on the wall or whatever quotes they want to talk about. Manage your time, manage your time, manage your time. There's no such thing as time management. There's only self-management. That's what it is. And it's funny because this book talks about this. And it says this. There's 24 hours in a day, right? We all have 24 hours, right? Jesus had 24 hours. We got 24 hours. The richest people in the world got 24 hours. The poorest people in the world have 24 hours. Here's it. Here's the deal. For 8 hours, on average, you sleep. For 8 hours, on average, you work. So those are taken care of. On average, don't beat me up over the times. Some a little bit more, some a little bit less. 8 and 8. So here's the deal. You got 16 hours left. Where is your focus on those other 8 hours? If you use 16 hours, you got 8 hours left. Where is your focus? This is so important. When it says follow one course until successful, that's where it is. You need your 8 hours of sleep. You need that. We must be able to work to earn income somehow, so you spend time doing that. But when you're not at work, what are you doing? A lot of people are watching TV, right? And I'm guilty of it myself too. I love my 48 hours, my 20/20. I love watching basketball, so true. But how much of your time are you spending doing that versus focusing on that God-given ability? That ability that God has given you, that you are supposed to be cultivating and then going out and sharing and helping other people. How much time are you spending on that? How much focus are you giving that? What are you doing with your other 8 hours? I'm gonna ask that question again. I'm gonna post that question as well when I do the show notes and put it in there and post it to the blog, because I want to know. I find it difficult for my own schedule. It's difficult, but I do it. Work 9 to 6. Go get up, run, work 9 to 6. So I get up at about 5:36, run, then take a shower, go to work 9 to 6, get off work, then come home and work on my business, work on my craft, work on my God-given ability and the talent that God has given me, and continue to focus on getting better. Continue to have that Mamba mentality of getting better at that. How many of you are doing that? I want to encourage you to continue to do that. And if you're not doing it, do it. Do it now. Do it right now. Work on what God has given you. Do it now. Focus on that, your other 8 hours. And the last thing I'm going to share with you today is, because it's Black History Month, I'd like to focus on one more thing of focus. And this is the Underground Railroad. Many of you have heard of the Underground Railroad. I'll say this first. The Underground Railroad, if you don't know, was not a railroad at all, right? Here's what the Underground Railroad was. It was a network of secret routes and safe houses established in the United States during the early to mid-19th century and used by enslaved African Americans to escape into free states in Canada. The scheme was assisted by abolitionists and others sympathetic to the cause of the escapees. Interesting. Very, very powerful. Very powerful. How much focus did it take to be a part of the Underground Railroad? Focus for the escapees, to make sure they didn't get caught again. But how much focus did it take for the people who were helping them escape? Right? And there were a lot of people helping them escape. How much faith did it take to do that? How much faith did it take? Important. Something to think about. Were they focused on freedom? Focused on equality? That's a powerful thing to be focused on, right? They risked their lives. The escapees are risking their lives, and the people who are helping them and assisting them were all risking their lives because they believed in something bigger than themselves. They were focused. They were focused. Are you focused? Are you focused today? Are you? Yeah. I want to close my first episode out with this. And I'll close every episode out with this, with a question. What can I do now? What can I do now to change my life? Because I think everybody is always waiting, and like I said, waiting on someday, one day, whatever the case may be. But based on being focused, what can I do right now? A tangible nugget, something that I can use right now to change my life. So let's say we're talking about your finances. You want to change your finances, right? You've been doing the same thing over and over. Nothing's changing. Well, choose one thing. Choose one thing to change. If you've been going out every Friday to happy hour, how about you cut that one out? You want to change your finances? You got to make some tough decisions. Cut out happy hour for 2 of the 4 weeks you go. That's something you can do right now. I didn't say when I did not say it was going to be easy, but what can I do right now? I want to share things with you that you can use now to change your life. How about your relationships? Make it a point. Make it a point to commit to accepting your partner, accepting their flaws, right? Accepting your differences between each other. Many relationships have an issue because people don't accept the differences between each other. A relationship is work. It's hard work. Again, I didn't say it was easy, but what can I do right now? Make a commitment and say, for this week, I am not going to complain about my partner. For this week. And so you build on that. You build momentum when you just say, just for this week. You don't want to say for this year. That's too long. That's too broad of a scope to try to focus on. Focus on something smaller, something more tangible for this week. Matter of fact, you can say for this day, if it works for you. Just for this day. And then when you wake up the next day, say for this day again. How about that? How about your career, right? Your career. Focus on being the best that you can be in just one aspect. Just one. If you're required to make a certain amount of phone calls, say, I'm going to make this many phone calls every single day. If you're required to go out and meet with 10 different people, say, every single day this week, I'm going to meet with 10 different people, no matter what. Focus on just that part, right? That's something you can do right now to change your life, for the better. I want to continue to encourage you each and every day. Remember, the things that we talked about today, the things that I've talked about today, they're not easy. They take courage. They take discipline. If you want to be focused, it takes discipline. It takes discipline to do that. So work on it slowly. Slowly build that momentum up and you get stronger and you get better and you get better and you get stronger and it continues to build, right? Just like we talked about with Kobe. Kobe came into the league as a rookie, sat on the bench. But look what he ended at, right? An all-star. Just like the Underground Railroad, right? It started small and slowly they saved more and more and more slaves. It built on each other. It became this legacy that we can remember now. Yeah. So I encourage you. I encourage you to continue to build, continue to get better. And if you do that, you will truly be able to say, I own the now and I have won. Yes. My name is T.Y. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you today, share with you today. Remember, the time is always now. Allow the universe to work in your favor and be blessed.